The old Grand Blackwood Hotel stood as a monument to a bygone era. Once a beacon of luxury and opulence, it now loomed over the town like a ghost of its former self. The windows, once gleaming with light and life, were now broken and dark, giving the building an eerie, hollow-eyed stare. Its grandeur had faded, replaced by an unsettling stillness. The lobby, once bustling with guests and staff, now lay silent. The wallpaper, once vibrant and welcoming, was peeling away, revealing the bare, decaying walls beneath. The air was thick with dust, and the silence was occasionally broken by the distant sound of dripping water, and within its shadowed halls, on the third floor, lay room 313. The hallway leading to it was dimly lit, the flickering lights casting long, eerie shadows. The door to room 313 stood at the end of the hallway, almost as if it were waiting for someone to approach. A room untouched by time, yet forever marked by it. Inside, the furniture was covered in a thick layer of dust, as if no one had set foot in there for decades. The bed, the dresser, the old armchair, all seemed frozen in time, relics of a past long gone. The air hung heavy with the perfume of decay, and the faintest hint of lavender, a scent that spoke of a presence unseen. It was as if the room itself was holding its breath, waiting for something, or someone. The faint light under the door seemed to beckon, inviting yet foreboding. The door, a heavy oak affair with its paint peeling like scabs, seemed to resist being opened. It was as if the door itself was a guardian, standing watch over whatever secrets lay within. The number 313, barely visible through the layers of grime, added to the sense of mystery. Its brass knob was cold to the touch, as if the chill of the room beyond had seeped into its very core. The coldness was almost unnatural, sending a shiver down the spine of anyone who dared to touch it. It was a warning, a sign that crossing this threshold was not to be taken lightly. Those who dared to cross the threshold spoke of an immediate shift in atmosphere. The air inside was different, heavier, almost oppressive. It was as if the room itself was alive, watching, waiting. The creak of the door echoed through the hallway, a sound that seemed to linger long after the door had been opened, a palpable sense of dread that clung to them like cobwebs. It was a feeling that was hard to shake, a sense that something was not quite right. The shadows seemed to move, to shift as if they were alive, and in the darkest corners of the room, one could almost feel eyes watching, waiting for the next intruder. The Grand Blackwood Hotel had stood for over a century, its history etched into every brick and mortar. The building itself seemed to breathe with the memories of countless guests who had walked its halls, and like any building with a past, it had its share of secrets. The corridors whispered with the echoes of conversations long forgotten, and the walls seemed to hold on to the laughter and tears of those who had stayed within. Room 313, it was whispered, held more than most. It was a room that seemed to exist in a world of its own, separate from the rest of the hotel. Tales passed down through generations of staff spoke of strange occurrences within its walls. Unexplained noises, flickering lights, and objects that seemed to move on their own were just some of the phenomena reported, and a pervasive feeling of being watched. Guests often reported an unsettling sensation, as if unseen eyes were following their every move. One name in particular was whispered in hushed tones: Emily Blackwood. Her story was one of beauty, grace, and untimely tragedy. The daughter of the hotel's original owner, she had been a vision of beauty and grace. Emily was known for her kindness and her love for the hotel, often seen wandering its halls, greeting guests with a warm smile, but her life, it seemed, had been tragically cut short. The details of her demise were shrouded in mystery, with rumors of heartbreak and sorrow. Some said she had died in the room itself, though the exact circumstances remained a mystery. To this day, guests claim to see her apparition, a sorrowful figure in a long dress, wandering the halls of the Grand Blackwood Hotel, forever searching for peace. Over the years, room 313 had seen countless guests come and go, but there was a sense that some never truly left. Housekeeping staff reported objects moving on their own, glasses shattering in the night, and a lingering cold spot near the window, as if an unseen presence were standing there, gazing out at the world. Guests, too, shared their own unsettling experiences, whispers heard in the dead of night, the feeling of being touched by unseen hands, and fleeting glimpses of a figure in white, a wisp of a memory that vanished as quickly as it appeared. The stories, though varied, all pointed to one chilling conclusion: room 313 was haunted. The stories began to take on a life of their own, weaving themselves into the very fabric of the hotel. What started as mere whispers among the staff and guests soon grew into a tapestry of chilling tales that seemed to breathe life into the very walls. The hotel, once a place of comfort and luxury, now held an air of mystery and dread. Each corner, each shadow seemed to hold a secret, a fragment of the stories that had been told and retold over the years. Each retelling added a new layer of fear, a new detail that sent shivers down the spines of those who heard them. The tales grew more elaborate, more terrifying, as if the hotel itself was feeding off the fear it generated. Guests would gather in hushed groups, sharing their own encounters, their own brushes with the unknown. The fear was palpable, a living, breathing entity that seemed to thrive within the hotel's walls. Even the skeptics found themselves avoiding room 313, their rational minds unable to shake off the unease it evoked. The room had gained a reputation, a dark allure that drew the curious and repelled the fearful. Those who dared to stay in room 313 often reported strange occurrences, unexplained noises, sudden drops in temperature, and an overwhelming sense of being watched. It was as if the room itself was alive, aware of the fear it inspired. The temperature in the corridor outside room 313 was noticeably colder than the rest of the floor. Guests and staff alike would feel an icy chill as they approached the room, a cold that seemed to penetrate to the bone. It was a cold that defied explanation, a cold that seemed to emanate from the very walls. Some said it was the presence of a spirit. Others believed it was the manifestation of the fear that the room inspired. A chill that seemed to seep out from under the door, sending a prickle of gooseflesh across the skin. Those who dared to touch the doorknob often found it icy to the touch, as if it had been left out in the cold. The sensation of goosebumps was almost immediate, a physical reaction to the unseen force that seemed to guard the room. It was a warning, a sign that something was not right, that something otherworldly was at play. And then, there was the scent of lavender, faint yet unmistakable, that seemed to linger long after any natural explanation could be found. The scent would appear without warning, filling the air with its sweet floral aroma. It was a scent that was both comforting and unsettling, a reminder of something long past. Some believed it was the perfume of a former guest, a woman who had met a tragic end within the hotel's walls. Others thought it was a sign, a message from the other side. Whatever the explanation, the scent of lavender added another layer to the mystery, another piece to the puzzle that was room 313. Section 5. A Legacy of Sorrow. As the years turned into decades, room 313 remained untouched. The hotel owners, perhaps sensing the unease it evoked, chose to keep it locked. A permanent "Do Not Disturb" sign hung on the door handle, a silent acknowledgement of the room's unsettling reputation. But even in its isolation, room 313 continued to cast a long shadow over the Grand Blackwood Hotel. Its presence was a constant reminder of the secrets it held, the stories it whispered, and the tragic legacy of Emily Blackwood, the young woman whose spirit seemed forever bound to its walls. Section 6. The Diary of Emily Blackwood. One day, during a routine cleaning of the hotel's attic, a hidden compartment was discovered behind a loose brick. Inside lay a small, leather-bound diary, its pages brittle with age. The diary belonged to Emily Blackwood, and its entries painted a tragic picture of her final days. Emily's words revealed a forbidden love affair with a young man named Edward, a musician who often played at the hotel. Their love was passionate but shrouded in secrecy, for Edward came from a humble background while Emily was promised to a wealthy suitor of her father's choosing. Section 7. A Vow Broken, a Spirit Awakened. As Emily poured her heart out in her diary, her words grew increasingly desperate. Her father had discovered their secret and in a fit of rage had banished Edward from the hotel, forbidding Emily from ever seeing him again. Heartbroken and filled with despair, Emily made a vow that she would rather die than live without Edward. Days later, Emily was found dead in room 313. The official cause of death was ruled a suicide, but rumors persisted that there was more to the story than met the eye. Some whispered that Emily's father, consumed by guilt and grief, had staged the suicide to protect his family's reputation. Section 8. The Truth Unmasked. The discovery of Emily's diary sent shockwaves through the Grand Blackwood Hotel. It offered a glimpse into the tragic events that had transpired within room 313, confirming the whispers and legends that had circulated for decades. Emily's spirit, it seemed, had never found peace. Bound to the room by her broken heart and the injustice of her untimely demise, she lingered on. The lavender scent, the cold spots, the feeling of being watched, they were all manifestations of Emily's presence. Her spirit, unable to move on, reached out from beyond the grave, seeking solace and perhaps even justice for the tragedy that had befallen her. Section 9. Room 313, Forever Sealed. In the wake of the diary's discovery, the owners of the Grand Blackwood Hotel made the decision to permanently seal room 313. The room was emptied of its furniture, its doors and windows boarded shut and its walls reinforced. A silent tomb erected in memory of Emily Blackwood, a testament to the enduring power of love, loss, and the restless spirits that walk among us. And so, room 313 remained, a silent sentinel on the third floor of the grand old hotel. A chilling reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed, and some stories, no matter how tragic, continue to echo through time.